So we're going to start with our breathing. So feel free to get in a comfy position, and that could be lying down or sitting up, whichever's going to work for you. And with the warmer weather, make sure you're topping yourself up, okay, with liquid, whether that's electrolytes or sipping water throughout, just keep topping. There we go. And we're going to do the breathing in and then breathing out for longer breaths, just to get our bodies and our minds ready for exercise. So we're going to start with breathing in for 4 and out for 5. But I'm not going to count it, okay? Because sometimes people feel a bit stressed when you're counting breaths and think you have to keep up and do exactly what I say. So in your head, I just want you to count as slowly as you feel comfortable doing, going in for 4 and out for 5. And I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to go quiet and we'll do a few rounds together. And if you feel safe to, feel free to close your eyes as well. So let's begin. We'll just do a couple of minutes of this, getting used to breathing and stimulating our parasympathetic nervous system. And maybe even explore breathing out for a bit longer. So still going in for 4 and out for maybe 6. And then when you feel ready, we're going to lie down on our backs, starting with pelvic tilts, but I've got a little task for you to do. I want you to see if you can do this without pushing down on your feet. So imagine you're pressing the middle of your back into the mat without actually pressing down, without squeezing the buttocks. So what you may notice is the tummy activates a little bit more than normal, because when you push down on your feet, your buttocks squeeze instead. So we're going to do it all without buttocks and without feet. Pushing the middle of your backs into the mat and then returning in the opposite direction. So what we're doing is we're starting to warm up the hips and the pelvis and the lower back. And quite often when we get stiff in the hips or painful in the hips, it's because our lower back needs a bit of mobilizing. So remembering to breathe as you push the middle of your back into the mat and return. And then allow yourself to find your part where your pelvis feels quite neutral. Now in the bed, it depends how firm your bed is, but you may need to actually hold this position with your tummy a little bit, because the bed is so supportive, you're probably a little bit tilted that way. So have time to find your bit that's in the middle and then walk your feet towards each other and open the palms to the sky, shift the shoulders away from your ears. We're going to really gently and slowly sway the knees towards one side, keeping the feet on the floor. And then come back to the center. And sway towards the other side. So small, gentle. So hello Emily, hello Amy, well done for making it, you two. So we're doing really gentle stuff today. Hips and kind of hip strength and mobility. And then we will end with a super gentle relaxation as well. Okay, then we're going to bring both knees back to the center. And I'd like you to bring one knee away from the other, but no more than halfway. So this is going to be where you're going to have to bring your awareness over your own body. And for those of you who spent years trying to ignore everything that's going on in your body, we're actually going to create these connections, but hopefully in a feeling of safe way. So very gently shifting the knee away from midline and returning. And while you're doing this, you might want to have a think about what you're doing with your jaw. Maybe you're clenching your teeth, or pursing your lips, or frowning. Maybe your shoulders have gone up to your ears. So we're going smooth and slow and gentle. And then we're going to walk our legs a little bit wider. And it doesn't need to be to your furthest extreme in terms of wideness. But I'd like you to dip one knee in towards the center and then return. And once again, paying attention to how far you go. So no more than halfway. You might even need to look for the first 2 times to see how far your leg is wanting to go. A lot of us could easily just drop that knee right into the center, but we're not going to. Not for today. Hello, Kellyanne.
Hi.
You made it. Well done.
I'm back.
So very gentle. So make sure you bring the knee back before the next one goes in towards the center. Otherwise, you're just swaying willy-nilly. So it's just one into the center and then return. That's it. Katie's reminded me, great use of ball. So Katie has put a ball there for feedback. And that's a great way to do it because then you remember not to go too far. Well done, Katie, and thank you for the reminder.
It's a lot less pain for me in this right hip when I do that, and
Yeah, and it's so hard to get that awareness, isn't it, of how far you're actually going unless you've got something that's telling you. And then we're going to caterpillar our feet away from us. So then we're going to be lying with our legs flat. Only if it feels good to you. You can still keep your knees semi-bent like this as well. Okay, I don't want you to do anything that doesn't feel good. And if your legs are flat, flex at the heels. And we're going to bring the toes in towards the center, just a touch, and then out away from you. And most of us here would also be able to splay and spread the feet outwards and inwards, touching the floor. But we're not going to. We're just going to go a little bit. But I'd like you to put your fingers, you know where your hip crease is, so where your belly meets the top of your legs. So find that point and see if you can feel a little shifting underneath your fingers of your femur rotating in and out in the acetabulum. So that's the top bone in that socket, gently in and out. That's it. So it's that nice crease. I'm sure there's a word for this crease. And I don't mean a rude word. I'm sure there's a rude one as well somewhere. And then allow your feet to relax because you've probably brought quite a lot of warmth to the front of your legs. Doing that one. Okay. A challenge for you. Squeeze one buttock cheek. And then release. And then squeeze the other buttock cheek. and release. In time, this gets easier, isolating the activation between buttock cheek to buttock cheek. So if it's not happening now, there's things you can do. You could put your hands there as though you're trying to squeeze your hand with your buttock. That sometimes helps, and that can create the connection too. That's it. There's things like looking down, and I know you can't actually see your buttocks if you look like this, but just trying to look down and finding them over your tummy is also a really great way of doing it. It's just ways to send signals down to those body parts. And then release your buttocks, and then squeeze both buttocks as though you're trying to tilt your pubic bone upwards a little bit. And then release them, imagine they're melting down onto the mat. So we're squeezing them and then releasing them. So we're going to do lots of buttock work today because those are fantastic hip stabilizers. So the stronger our glutes are, the less back pain we'll get, the less discomfort in our hips. So that nice activation, lifting pubic bone up, and then really importantly as well as the melting back down again. Okay, so working the buttocks a little bit more now, and now including the hamstrings. We're going to bend at the knees and see if we can find feet hip width apart. So you might need to move your balls out of the way for a little bit, or you could even put them between your knees if you prefer. So like we did with the pelvic tilt, we're going to tilt pubic bone to nose, and then we're going to squeeze the buttocks to lift the pelvis just up off the floor. And imagine you're pushing the legs away from you, like you're reaching the knees towards the opposite wall or door, whatever you've got there. So we're keeping the lower part of our ribs on the floor because I want you to focus on the buttock and hamstring activation as you squeeze up, and then very gently lower yourself down again. That's it. So we're keeping the pillows and cushions and things here if you want to. Some people prefer just to get rid because it's like a habit that we do. Whenever we do shoulder bridge, we usually remove cushions. But because we're not going too high, we're keeping our rib cage on the floor, and today's all about buttocks, then you'll be safe doing this one. And I also want to say, for those of you who struggle to get any lift at all, the very activation of doing it, that's it. Just even thinking about it, you are still working those muscles. So height is absolutely not important here. Just sending those signals down, getting them activating. And then when you're ready, I'd like you to take a break. And that could be whatever you want. It could be the knee sways, it could be sitting up, getting some water. Just whenever we're doing such focused work, I want you to just have time to let your body relax and your brain sometimes as well. Okay, so we're going to lengthen one leg and keep the other leg bent. And we're going to do a straight leg raise. So you can choose. You can either flex at the heel, and that'll introduce a lot more activation in the front of your leg, or you could let that heel go floppy. And what we're going to do is push on the bent foot, so the bent knees foot, downwards, as we lift the other leg no higher than the knee. So see if you can go no higher than the knee. You might even want to just go halfway up that leg and then down. Can you all feel your hip working then? The top of your thigh and your hip activating. Good, I saw thumbs. So this is what we're going for. Okay, I'd like you to explore what happens if you rotate out slightly. So if your toes are directly upwards, you're very much using your hip flexors. If you rotate outwards slightly, you'll be a little bit hip flexors, but a little bit adductors. It's the muscle between your thighs, this one here. So explore that. You may notice, I mean, for me, I find it a lot more comfortable. My hip flexors are always working, and yours probably are too, to cling on to your hips. So explore that feeling. And at this point, your thighs might be getting a little bit warm. My body certainly is, yes. Well done. And then we're going to go the other way. So turn the toes slightly inwards, so you're rotating inwards just a touch as we lift and lower. So I can feel mine towards the outside of my hip flexors, towards a little bit the outside of my thighs there. And did anyone forget to breathe during these?
Yeah.
No? So Emily's remembered, so that's good. Good. I forgot to breathe. I was definitely holding my breath then. Okay. Then when you've finished with that one, we're going to lower down and give that leg a little wiggle. Now that's quite intense, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
For me, sometimes I just get so amazed by our bodies and how intense those muscles work, despite only just moving that amount. It just amazes me. Anyway, let's hug that knee in towards the chest. That's it. Some people like doing half a panicky turtle here. That's an option if you want to. Some people like to bend the knee and move it in and out, but with control. Okay. Now, what happens is we tend to prioritize the leg that likes working best, which means that the second leg that we work on is often the harder one. So we probably won't do quite as many on that side. But I just want you to just be nice to yourself. And if it's feeling awful, take your time. Just imagine the exercise or do less. But whatever you do, I don't want you to force yourself to move. So we're going to point the toes up, flex the heel if you want to, as we lift that leg. Oh, mine feels heavy. And then gently lower down. Now, does anyone feel like this leg, the second leg, feels heavier than the first? Yeah.
Kind of. They're both extremely heavy. I'm only going up a couple inches.
Yeah. So remember, there's different ways that you can adapt to make it better for you. So you could make it smaller or you could do less. Okay.
Yeah.
And all of it is just so acceptable. I love being in a safe place like this where whatever we do is fine and socially acceptable. I can't imagine going into a Pilates class these days and just doing what I want, but we should, shouldn't we? We should all have freedom to do that. Okay, now we're going to... What was that?
That's why we don't go to them, because it's
Yeah.
too hard.
Too right. So now we're going to externally rotate at the foot, which will involve an external rotation at the hip, and slide that leg on up and down. Seeing if you can try and feel the inside thigh. So even if you're not feeling it, imagine that you're feeling it and sending those signals down. Just make sure you're still breathing. Smiling will help you stop your jaw clenching. And then we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to turn the foot inwards. Don't forget to push down on the bent knee as well. So push down on the bent kneed foot, the foot of the bent knee. Lift and lower. Oh gosh. I told you my brain wasn't going to work today. Nice and gentle. All right, one more if you want to. And then we're going to bring that leg in, or sway it gently, or half a panicky turtle, whatever feels good to you. Okay, that's a lot of time on our backs. So we're going to sit up for a little bit, and then we'll get back down onto our side. So sitting however feels good to you, and being semi-propped up is perfect too. So we're sat in our V positions, if it feels okay. And then I'd like you to bring one knee up and bring it to the other leg and move it like this. And it looks exactly the same if you're lying down, your back is flatter instead. And then we're going to move that leg away and bring the other one up. And the stiffer you are in your hips and your lower back, the harder this is. So if you need to sit on something as well, feel free. So I always hold on to this kneecap because it helps me keep that kneecap in place. So just have a think about your kneecaps because you don't want to be dislocating them as you do this. But this is a very functional move that's good to have as you're doing these. I have got an extension to this move as well if anyone wants it. So you could do this. If you want more, you could press down and then return. And there you'll get a cheeky little activation. Yay, Melody's here!
Hi, everybody!
And Winston!
Hello, I'm the dog. Hi!
Then we're going to go the other way. And a cheeky little press up if it feels all right to you. And then return. So we're taking everything really super slowly today. Still clinging onto your knees if you need to. That's it. And one more, should it feel okay to you. So remember, resting is fine. Okay. The next move is putting something on the floor in front of you. So it could be a ball if you've got a ball, or it could be a cushion. And some of you may or may not want to be sitting back against your wrists. I know there's a couple of you in here who really don't like to do this. Options are using hooves if you prefer, or sitting up or leaning against something. Okay, so do what feels good to you, as I always say. And then we're going to lift the tummy, so we've got some support going on in our backs as we lift the leg up and over your object.
Yeah.
For those of you with big balls, it's hard. And then up and over.
Oh my god, that's hard.
It is, isn't it? And then the other way. Whoop. And back. And if that's plenty for you today, that's fine, okay? You don't need to go any further. If you want to do more, that's it. It's effective though. Have a look down at your thighs as you do this. Whew. Well done. Vixie, that was a really good idea. Vixie supported her leg as it went over. That's another option. You can use your leggings or your hands or whatever to help. That's it. Well done. So who's hating me right now? Anyone? Oh. Okay, let's finish on that one then, shall we? Okay. Well done. Did anyone actually find that easy?
Yeah, it was okay.
Oh, some are okay. Some are like this. No, I didn't find it easy either. Did you feel it deep in here? Those hip flexors. Yeah, because they work really hard. What you're doing is, this is a very functional move. This one, it's the lift and the moving, because we don't tend to work everything in straight planes of motion like this. We're often doing twists and turns. So doing things like this are hopefully teaching your body how to do stuff without destabilizing. Very useful. Okay, the next one I thought you might like better is rolling whatever you've got forward and back, or even just using your hands, just gently rolling forward and rolling back. Now with the V, try not to make it too wide. You will want to, especially those of you who've got a gymnastics or ballet background. But I'd like you to just keep it controlled, and let's have small V's as we do this. Very gently. Well done. Okay, so we've done lots and lots of buttocks and hip flexors so far. We're going to go into side lying now. We've lost Kellyanne, she vanished. Okay, so side lying, do have some water if you want to. I can see Winston staring at me from outside. He's got paws on that, wanting to come in. Bless him. Okay. Knees bent in front. You can use your ball here for comfort if you want. That's it. And we're going to lift this top leg just halfway. And then we're going to lengthen that leg. It's hard, isn't it? And fold it again. And then lower. Now, see if you can do that. But imagine you've got a wall behind you, so this top hip can't move backwards as you lift it. So it's going to be fixed here. So you might want to put your hand there to tell you whether it's moving. As you lift and lower. Woo! And return. And go back down. Now, if you're staying on your back, you're going to do this one where you slide out and slide back. As always, halfway. So no more than halfway. So it doesn't even need to be halfway, it can be up to halfway. That's it. Okay, one more before our hips really scream at us. Okay, so that is very much, when we do that one, you're very much working that muscle there, which is a lovely hip stabilizer too, so the abductor. When you do that, you're adding load, okay, so you're adding the weight of your leg to it. So very functional, as always. The next one we're going to do is we're going to lift just a little bit above the bottom one and push that knee backwards slightly. So it's coming from your buttock. That's it. You might even want to feel your buttock as you do this. And the main muscle that we're working here is the glute maximus, as we're doing this one. But notice, if you keep your hand here, notice what happens if you push back and then slightly lift up again. So you're pushing back and slightly lifting up. You're then getting the glute medius and the abductors and so many more as well. Oh, I can really feel it just in there. That's it. It's exactly the same if you're lying down. You might want to activate it a bit more by pushing down on that foot as you're sliding it out. You still get that activation deep in there. And then when you're ready to relax, take a break. And if you have got anything soft and round that isn't a dog or a cat, put your top knee on top of the ball, and then lengthen this bottom leg. And a really nice stretch is just pushing this ball forward and relaxing in this position. I'm sure I've done this with you before.
This is how I sleep a lot of the time.
I used to sleep like that.
Just not with the arm up.
Yeah. It's a nice position. You can't go too far forward if your arm's in front though, otherwise you'd end up hyperextending. But it's just nice being able to open up the hips, isn't it? But in a supported way. So Emily, did this used to be your favourite sleeping position?
Oh yeah, I used to sleep in what I call a figure of four sometimes. So I would sleep kind of like that, but I would bring my foot into my knee. Yeah, and it would be flat on the, so I would be like looking like a four.
Nice.
Can't do that anymore.
No.
Can't breathe if I turn my head either way. So
Yeah. But priorities, isn't it?
yeah, kind of like to breathe while I sleep.
Yeah. Right, let's do this. Let's roll over to the other side. So hug your balls for comfort. And imagine that wall is behind you again, so that when you lift that leg, you're not going to hinge that hip backwards as you gently lift and then gently lower. That's it. Remember, if you're lying on your back, you're going to be sliding out and sliding back again. And if you were on your back and you were swapping legs each side, one way to add load to this, if you want to work harder, is to do it with your legs lengthened, but you'd need to look after your back here, so try not to let your back arch too much from the mat. Keep your tummy lifted as you slide and back. Gently does it. So on Thursday, we're going to do a very similar class, but there's going to be a few more moves. So we're going to go up a little bit of a level as we do this. This time, if you want to have a feel, we're going to squeeze back and then gently lift from there. So feel those muscles getting hard underneath your hands. That's it. We're having another cat day. Keep getting cats walking across the screen. It's really funny. I love it. And then when you're ready, bring that ball. You know what we forgot? We forgot this one, didn't we? Oh well. Let's bring the ball in front, underneath our knee, and find our... Let's go for Emily's figure of four sleeping position. That's it. If you are on your back, you could maybe bring your feet together and open your knees away from each other. Just don't let them collapse. Breathing here. And I've got one more gentle stretch to show you for your hips and your pelvis. And you may or may not like it. It's my absolute favourite stretch in the world. And I do it quite a lot because I'm always here. So I've always got these bits flexing. So this is like the antithesis to that. Putting the ball underneath your bum. It's my favourite. And then opening the legs so your pelvis is your higher point. So it definitely needs to be bum as opposed to lower back or sacrum. It needs to be bottom area as you do this. Some people absolutely love this because you're really getting into stretching out these areas here. Some people can't even get into this position, and if that's you, I'd like you to squeeze your bottom and lift your pubic bone towards your nose and then relax instead. And cushions are great too, so if you don't have a ball, a cushion's lovely. And if you want more, you could maybe dip one side down. So you're increasing the side that's lifted further. So who loves this one?
It's all right.
All right. So I've got three who love it. I had, four who love it. I had two doing this. I had one saying it's all right. Nobody put thumbs down though. Did anyone put thumbs down? No? Okay.
It's nice, but I feel like if I do it for too long, my back will hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why it needs to be definitely underneath buttocks instead of lower back.
Yeah.
And to extract it, you could do how Martha did it so gracefully, like this. Or you could lift your bottom up and. Oh, nicely done, everyone. Well done. So this is the point where we're going to move into the relaxation. I will make sure I tell everybody to wake up, but you can ignore me saying that at the end if you just want to roll over and go to sleep. Okay? And if you want to leave, if you don't want to do the relaxation, that's fine too. So find your comfy position. You could be lying down or sitting up, whatever suits you better. And start by observing yourself on the mat. Paying attention to how you are feeling, both physically and emotionally. Tuning into your mind and your body. And without any judgment, I just want you to notice how centered or grounded you might be feeling in this very moment. And the answer could even be you're not at all, or it could be a little bit of movement has helped me. And softly allow your eyes to close and move your attention inward. Taking a few deep, calming breaths. And as you breathe, imagine you're breathing away any stress, or any pain, or any tension. Anything that's bothering you now, in this moment, imagine breathing it away. And imagine filling the gaps that you've created with happy, lifted, energizing thoughts. Feelings of calm, feelings of peace, maybe even feelings of joy. Allowing your body to replenish itself and your mind to acknowledge your accomplishments for bringing you here. Begin to visualize a glow of positive, golden light surrounding you. And allow an inner smile to radiate outwards and actually physically feel that smile growing. And in your mind, focus on the word well-being and what it means to you. Think of all the positive associations to well-being. And then I want you to embody those thoughts. And see yourself in this golden light, with this gorgeous, healing, positive energy surrounding you. And feel your spirit lift and feel really alive in your body as you repeat in your head, I am well. I am happy. And I am blinking wonderful. I am well. I am happy. And I'm absolutely amazing. I am well. I am happy. And I have got this. And as you move on with the rest of your day, keep this energy inside you, but allow it to radiate outwards so everyone can see that lifted spirit inside you. Well done, everybody.